Hey everyone, this is episode 85 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is finally one and purple OSG. How's it going, sir?
Yeah. I mean, shoot, we finally got a purple win, but the rest of the weekend didn't go so well. So you're one in purple, but you're 1-2 for the rest of the weekend. And since everybody's
Yep.
back playing again, and holy crap. So yeah, but at least the perp did get a win, and we can talk about the perp whenever we get to the Dynamo segment. Because I don't know why we're in the perp again and again and again and again, but whatever. So I don't know what you
Gotta push the jersey. Gotta push the new jersey and
meant.
hope more people buy it. Because at this point, it's kind of like, okay, guys, we have an orange jersey before they were for other competitions, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's about time, But yeah, as OSG said, we have openers for Dash and Dynamo 2 this weekend, and those were not ideal. Particularly Dynamo 2, which we're gonna get into later on, and also Dash, which we're gonna get started on. But yeah, we're back in our busy weekends for all three teams. So guys, as always, share our stuff, support our content as much as possible, because we do work hard and take our time, especially during the late nights as we're recording this on Sunday night. It's gonna be a big one, and obviously, like I said, all three teams are back, so we're gonna be talking about them throughout the rest of the year. So it's a big one this year.
Oh well, bro, a big one. Three segments starting with Dash. So I mean, we've talked about this before. Whenever we have all three teams, we know it's not going to be a happy segment unless all three teams win, which is kind of hard to come by with these three particular teams lately for some reason. It used to be, Dynamo aren't winning a game. Dash could win a game, but Dose will. And then it was like last year, Dynamo, yes. Dash, no. And then Dose would fall apart at the end. And, now here we are this year. Dash was like, hell no. Dose said, same shit, different day. And then Dynamo are getting a win. So it's gonna be one of those segments. But man, Dash. So Dash going into the Dash, we knew. All right, we had Fran, new coach. Didn't have a lot of time there because it took him a minute to get his visa approved to come in. He didn't have all the girls either because they were playing in the Gold Cup. So going into this game, I think we talked about it if you remember correctly. The trouble going into this game with the lack of time learning the style, learning the formation, not possibly being able to use certain players because they're just returning. It looks like he ended up using them anyways. Deanna Ordonez, Maria Sanchez, obviously Jane back in the goal. Were you before we talk into the lineup? Were you surprised as the lineup came out and you were able to look at it, or was that kind of expecting for you?
For the lineups, most of the options were. But obviously, we're missing already Katie Lynn, so I was expecting a couple switches in the back line. But heading into this game, like just before getting into the lineup, I was, and I think I said it in the last episode, I was expecting a high scoring game, but it just blew up in my face. So like I was expecting those types of new faces there, like particularly, and obviously the first game of the year, like you mentioned, without that chemistry already, it was gonna be hard for them, and especially having three in the back for like the first time in a while, or trying to like apply that for the first time. Also, Julissa Harris, and like the way it worked. I don't know if you want to talk about it right now, but
No,
like
you
to answer your
segue
question,
you
yeah.
segued into it. So yeah, let's start with the back line as well. Like obviously you still have an answer to give, and you're about to give it, but yeah, start with the back line because, like you said, Katie Lynn was missing from the game, and we kind of knew that going into it. But at the last second, Jacobs is taken out of the starting lineup, and Jalissa Harris is inserted. So that tells me it would have been Puttengam, Jacobs, and Peterson as the starters, and then the Harris switched to the last second. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
like after, because they scored first and then we scored the own goal. But literally, like after the second half, like the back line literally just fell flat. Like every single
Oh
time,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I saw it was like every single opportunity that North Carolina had, it was usually like 5 against 3, or 2 against 3 or 4 players, and at their advantage. So they always had like another player to like support them to just exploit the back line, and that's what happens throughout the second half. Because like the first half was pretty even to an extent. North Carolina did get a lot of opportunities to double or triple the lead, but that didn't happen. And honestly, and look, it's going to be pretty tough for the first game. We were to explain why, but at the same time, I was expecting more of them. And I know that I also said last time that it was going to be like a high bar to really accomplish, because best team, best defensive team last year, and all that. But at the end of the day, like it's a new season. It's a new set of players, new faces in the coaching staff too. But I was extremely disappointed with his performance overall, because they just like he just kept going back at them. Like they just kept scoring goals after goals, and the game was just put away way too early for them. It's just disappointing for me.
I think it was tough, man, with Peterson, who on this show we have not shown favoritism to. Hasn't impressed us, but somehow she keeps getting starts, even though there's like what 3 or 4 starts. So I mean, same hand, but she's doing something in practice to where she's showing off, but it doesn't just show on the pitch to me for some reason. Jalissa Harris, I like Jalissa Harris. I like what she does, and I think she could be a formidable center back and be very helpful for the Dash. And I was pleased with her play, so I'm not gonna knock her too hard. And then Puntgam, man, Puntgam, I was disappointed with her again. It just didn't show anything, and I think it kind of showed where she was one of the first subs to come out as well early in the game. Not early in the game, but early in the second half when the first subs were made. So it's like it's kind of like a rookie back line after coming off of last year was just so stellar, and like you don't have options, man. Jacobs was hurt. Uh, Katie Lynn was unavailable. What else do you have to put back there, man? You really you don't, dude. You don't have anything else to put back there. When I'm looking at the reserves, Croy Soto, who came in for Puttingham later, was an option that came off the bench, but you didn't have any center backs. You didn't have any other right backs to play. I mean, you had a Lozia on the bench. Why couldn't she have been a Peterson this game? Would have been perfect position, because I was really surprised that she wasn't even starting, moving into the midfield. And also, is it a 3-1-4-2 or was it a 3-5-2? Because if it was a 3-1, where Smith looked like she was playing by herself in that CDM role instead of a double CDM, there's where there is a lot of trouble. So you're playing 4 defenders. Also, 3 defenders are packed in the middle, and they're allowing those balls to get to the wings, and they're not adjusting properly. And then Smith's back in the middle by herself. You're going to get beat up and just torn apart, and that's exactly what happened. So I think Fran needs to, Ordonez and Kaiser up top. You had Sanchez, Reed, Alves, and Avery Patterson across the midfield right there. I think Fran needs to build his style, take the way we played last year, and then integrate his style, and then let's just kind of integrate his system into it slowly. I think he pushed it a little bit too much right here on the road with all these new players, not much time, and like you said, 5-1 is a big backfire going into halftime, 1-0 down. So happy with the first half, but second half was just completely different. But Avery Patterson starting. I didn't expect her to get a start. I'm hype on her as a dark horse. Breed got a start in the midfield. Kaiser is a striker. So there was some I was kind of surprised. I don't know about you. What about you with the lineup and these, now that you've heard all the names? Standout surprises. Anything you like? What's going on here?
Well, you already mentioned like the biggest one for me, which was Alosi up on the bench to start the game, and I thought she's a starter. She proved last year, and yeah, that was a big surprise for me. And if you want to call it silver lining, it's barely a silver lining, but like the only good thing about this game is that it happened this early because it's a good opportunity to realize what went wrong and what can be fixed for the next one. And this is a similar situation to what's happening with Dynamo, and I don't like comparing both teams because they're way different. But we're also missing key players here, particularly the back line. And you already mentioned Katie Lynn, also Chappie being missing. These are things that the team has to figure out now because the season is started. So it's
Yeah.
it's a mess, and and obviously like we have to acknowledge this to Fan Alonso because he's the one who has to sort this right now because they have to move on, and the home openers is this weekend, so it's gonna be a lot of questions to answer right now.
Well, hopefully, Jacobs is back and ready to go. Hopefully, Katie Lynn is back from whatever personal issue. I'm assuming it's a personal issue, since she hasn't returned. You gotta start. You gotta start Alozi, you would think, unless she's just like performing so bad in practice. You don't know what's going on. And then another surprise for you, at least. I thought I would expect to see her, especially late in the game. But Yuki didn't even see the field at all. So I kind of thought that she was going to be a starter, just the way the lineup was limited to who you could use, and she didn't even get on the friggin' field at all. So that was another surprise for me as well. Your girl Barb, she got in and she played what is it, 27 minutes plus extra time.
She
So
did all she could.
yeah, and she had a good little showing too. Kiki Van Zanten came in later, played decently. Corey Soto played decent. I think maybe you could try to start her over Buckingham next game, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. I don't know. Coaches sometimes take prestige to players, and Austrian captain or whatever. So, uh, whatever. I would like to see something different out of her on the left back side, or somebody different over there. I would like to see a double pivot. So hopefully, Ellen Rubinson will be ready to go and play side by side with Smith and shore up that defense a little bit. And I think if you do that, then that'll help our offense in getting more attack available. Ken Ordonez, bro, look like a ghost this game again. So couldn't find her, couldn't get her the ball, couldn't do anything. She couldn't do anything, nothing, bro. There was nothing. And you were playing two strikers up top. Kiki Kaiser did a lot more than Deanna Ordonez this game, and I was a little bit surprised as to her performance in this game too, as well. I don't know if you agree on that.
I was more concerned about the defense and
Yeah,
trying to like really stop the bleeding. But yeah, I agree that that offense hasn't really performed at all, and the goal that we got in was just pure luck, and obviously the ability for Bombi to like to cross it in because she was expecting someone there, but at the end of the day, it went our way. That on
yeah.
goal.
Yeah, the own goal off the corner kick. Yeah, it's just I think one the players were expecting somebody to hit it and somebody didn't. They just bounced off their player. But
Yeah,
funny thing. What's not different from the Dash and the Dynamo that we cannot separate is VAR. So VAR comes into
yep,
play twice in this game. First time it was yeah, a sliding tackle to save the ball to stop the ball from being crossed in the box, and it ends up hitting her arm, and I'm like that. I don't know if that's really a handling, but they ended up calling it a handling. North Carolina scores a penalty, Dasher down 1-0. You're like, okay, well here we go, because this is 18th minute in the game already, and it was a good fight in the first half. So 1-0. You're like, oh shit, we're gonna have to battle back from behind in North Carolina. This sucks. And then not too later, 40, what was it, 43rd minute? We thought we are going to have an opportunity to change the game and take control of the game, which should have been a potential red card. They went to VAR and they come back and I'm like, yes, there's a card coming, and he pulls a yellow card out of his freaking
yeah,
pocket.
yeah,
Because for he didn't she didn't even card for the offense to begin with. So
Yep.
I'm thinking VAR go and look. Yes, as you're going to come out with a red card, but no, it comes out with a dang yellow card, and that could have changed the game. And it probably could have been a red card. Different judgments right there. So we'll just leave that open for integrity. Integrity. I don't know. Did you see it to have a judgment?
I did see it, and like for me, it didn't like that specific challenge. I feel like it didn't look like a red card, just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just like in action, but obviously like in VR, it's really up to interpretation. So it could have gone our way, but at the same time, I don't really blame this call on the performance of like for the team because
Yeah.
it was a mess. They need some work.
Yeah, that definitely needs some work. So I guess that's a good segue to my next question for you, Rod. I mean, since you said the team needs some work, but did you see any positives in the way the team played? Anything to take away from that game that I.e. coach can build off of?
Like honestly, just that the team kept going, like especially in like a pretty like it's a really bad answer because like they kept trying it in like in the plan that Fran Alonso was trying to apply, like even in a call like that. But I guess they just have to like keep adjusting or just like really work on that because like I didn't really see any positives honestly. Like I'm trying. I
Well,
gave you my silver lining initially, but
yeah.
at the same time, it's hard for me to find a positive.
All right. Well, that's funny that the answer you gave, and you said it's a bad answer, and it's the exact answer that Fran Alonso gave. He likes the girls competed and they gave the effort and they didn't give up and they stayed together, and you didn't they fell apart as a unit on the field as far as gameplay goes, but they didn't fall apart as in the chemistry and the teamwork with each other. Granted, the chemistry wasn't the greatest, and that's kind of what happened with the fall apart and giving up so many goals. But the girls didn't turn on each other, and he said they just played till the end, and they put the effort, and they understand the situation that they're in at the same time, as to where there's just a lot of new girls on the roster. There's a new coaching staff. There's a new style. Everybody's learning everything so fast and so quick, and it's just it's a lot going on at one time. So that is not a bad answer. It is actually a good answer, and the answer that Fran gave in the press conference. Granted, guys, I don't recommend y'all go listen to the press conference. The sound was just friggin' horrible, and it was just it was annoying. It sounded like they found a bathroom. They put the NWSL poster in it, shut the door, and then like let's record it right here because this is the only space we have available right now, and that's what it sounded like. And Fran Alonso is already hard to understand when he starts speaking fast. When he's just answering the question, his words kind of come together, and it's hard to understand it with his accent being so strong. So then you put him in this room with this friggin' echo or this the hollow sound, it just made it even worse and ridiculous. But good answer though, bro. So it was cool, but like I said, the chemistry. Did you see any chemistry that there's a spark there that we can build off of? At least, because I know, like I said, for me, the first half I was okay with the team and impressed with the way
Yep.
the team was playing until the second half, and then the goals just started to come.
It was during the first half. It's just that they're gonna have to keep up because the other team is going to always adjust the game plan, and that's what happened in the second half.
Yeah.
So to an extent, going back to the previous answer, like it makes sense if that's their positive, but they're gonna have to work on it.
Well, and it doesn't help that what was their little player that came off the bench for them that was just a new transfer for them coming a new trade. Oh, St. George's. St. George's just came up and just kicked our ass off the friggin' bench for them, and it was
Yep.
okay, game over. She decided to kill it for us. All right, man. Well, so we had a bunch of debut players as well. So Avery Patterson, Kiki Kaiser, Bill Breed, all making their debuts this season for the as starters. As starters, obviously we have a couple of others.
Yep.
You want to comment on any on those three, their performances or anything? Anybody stand out of those three? Remember again, it's Breed, Kaiser, and Patterson.
As starters, it's tough game for them, but I like to say that for Philip Reed, like obviously she came up for Barb, so I should be happy to an extent. But at the same time, I'm just glad that she was able to like experience that. Just being in that tough situation, it's it gets it's pretty much like meaningful for when it comes to experience. So I guess that's like my one of the main highlights. But honestly, credit to them for getting their starts, especially in an important game like this one.
Oh yeah, dude, and like I said earlier, I was surprised Patterson got the start, but you get in there and I'm not. Her performance wasn't rated too well. Uh, she was a learning curve. She adjustment from college to NWSL. So, but it looks like she was decent, and if she can grow and pick up on her mistakes, then I think she'll be a nice help to come off the bench right there. Kaiser, Kaiser looked decent to me with opportunities, trying to score whenever we could get up there, or at least being forward. So that's something because she stood out more than Ordonez did to me. So as somebody that could be a help up top once the roster is fully ready to go and figure out. And Bree was just solid. She didn't make any mistakes. She did her job. She played her position. So, I was happy with her. Then off the bench you had Van Zanten, which I'm sure you have a media notation. We signed her. I don't remember if it was after or before that last episode that we did, but we were
It was
talking about how
after, yeah.
she didn't make the roster, but we're like we'll probably pick her up, and she was right. You hit it on the nose. We signed her to a roster with an option for after this year. She comes in, she gets to play. Corey Soto comes off the bench and gets to play for subbed in for Puntingham and gets to play. So I was impressed with Soto, of course. The option that was taken off, I'm not impressed with. So, but I watched her for a minute, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. But I think it's just the youth and the little more running right there. But I don't know those are the other two debut players right there. Do you have any thoughts on those two? I know you like Ben Stanton.
I was looking forward to Kiki. I'm definitely glad they signed her to the deal. I was expecting them to sign her either way. It was just kind of strange that the timing went that way, but I guess they were still working on that one. So I was happy to see her play. I think out of substitutions, I feel like she played very well. Obviously, I feel like it was, even though it was enough time to make a difference, I feel like it's not really her fault either way. So she did good.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, now we move on from this game and we fly back home and we've got to hurry up and we've got to not hurry up, but we got to get back onto the pitch. And I say we move these sessions from 2 hours to 3 hours this week, if that's what they are. If they're 3 hours, make them 4 hours. Let's add an extra hour this week until we can get comfortable with how the team is playing, and they deserve to get that hour back. Right now, let's put in the work and let's do the work and let's get out there and hustle. So we're back at home opener, Shell Stadium, Saturday, 7:30 against Louisville. Louisville, we kind of had their number, so I'm hoping that stands true and we can pull out a win. So, Foxtrot and I will be there on Saturday as well. Find us if you can. We won't be in the stands. We'll be working as media, but we'll be walking around, getting fan interviews, maybe a few after the game. Hopefully in a winning aspect of it, but. Show up for the dash, man. Anything else you want to say on the dash before you close this one out and move on to the boys?
Go to the opener. The ladies need us, and go to it. Like it's on Saturday. It's a good time. 7:30. It's still fresh out there, but I saw always go support the dash.
Yeah, and real quick before we do close it out, stats just to remember real quick, just to remind how much we got our butts kicked from the difference from last year. We took 20. They took 20 shots on us this time. We only took 7. They had 60% possession to our 40% possession. So this is definitely a tough game. Tough game to work off of and build off of. So Coach Fran's going to have his hands full. He's definitely not used to this kind of soccer. It's usually the other way around where he's coming from with Celtic. So hopefully he can make some adjustments and we have a good game on Saturday and be competitive. Look forward to it. See you down there in Houston and DTFO, man. That's your that's what I got for your dash right there, man. That's it.
Yeah, I guess that goes to the only happy part of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun watching the other NWSL games that were going on during the game. I watched that friggin' 5-4 game during the day.
Yep.
And that game was friggin' nuts. KC built their own friggin' stadium for their women, so that's friggin' amazing, and it looks good. And they had fun and ended up winning their game 5-4 against Portland, who looks crazy. Sophie Smith with 2 more goals already. So the NWSL is going to be fun this year. The Utah girls they got beat, and then the other ones are probably playing currently right now as we talk. Might be over by now since it's kind of late, but uh, we're getting into the scores. We're gonna move on to the boys, and then we're gonna talk Dynamo and talk Dose now, and we'll catch up on the NWSL next weekend.
So yeah, Dynamo finally getting their first win of the year in MLS. 1-0 over Portland Timbers. Pretty much giving the Timbers their first loss of the year. So that's a positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we could talk. We could start this one with the elephant in the room. What's the striker?
Bossy striker, yeah. I like, man. We talked about it, like there's nothing he can do right now. He's not. He
Yep.
doesn't have one. And I thought we could try them on both sides and the league be the striker, but I guess not. We're not going to do that. So uh, we just need Sebas to hurry up and get back in there so that we can use his butt. He almost made the bench. We heard he was really close to making the bench, so maybe we'll see him on Saturday in Colorado uh, and come off the bench so that he can get back to it and then get a start. And we'll just have a striker finally because it is tough. And Gabe Siegel came in again later in the game, and it was tough for him too as well. So, holy crap, bro! No striker. Bossy is the striker, and that man just roams everywhere. And like I was watching him just kind of take up some space, and like, dude, you don't hold on. You're playing your position a little bit too far over, like so calm down. But whatever, it's just something that we're going to need to do something, and was hoping then down at Dose we'll have a striker that we can build and slide in there and get us some actual striker minutes, someone hustling for the ball. But we'll see. This is where everybody's like, hurry up, Sebas. We need you back, Sebas. Come back, Sebas. Which is weird to say, but he's our only option for now. So
Yeah, and also one of the things that we didn't mention in the last episode was Latif Blessing joining the Dynamo. He was
yeah,
traded from Toronto FC for, I believe, 75,000 in GAM for next year. But I
yeah,
also believe the Dynamo are taking most, if not all, of his salary, which I think from last year it was around $700,000. And yeah, like it's obviously we need it right now because he's listed as a midfielder. He's an attacking midfielder, but also he can play on the wings, both wings. So it's extremely useful. And it was a weird territory to see if he was gonna play or not because he was already in training before the news happened, and he actually made the bench, but he didn't see like any minutes this time around. But like that tells me he's gonna be playing the next game for sure.
yeah. Which means Grey Goose is going to go to the bench. So, and that's where Blessing is going to slide in. Arthur, Blessing, Coco. Coco might be missing, so he might just slide in and take his place. And you leave Grey Goose on, and I told you already, he's picked his favorite. So Reigns will be lucky to see the pitch again. He got 2 minutes this time, but here we go. Grey Goose has already won the job over Reigns, and Reigns is back to. Can I go back to Dose, please? Uh, so yeah, it'll be curious as what we're going to do with him and how we're going to use him. This might be, like we said, one of these. He's going to cover for somebody who's not available for this game. It's Coco not available, so he might cover for Coco. I'd like him to cover for Grey Goose, and then you can use Bossy and Seba in 2 different positions here, and then maybe Siegel gets a start as a striker because you need a striker up there. I don't know what to do right there. That's Ben's problem, and I guess he'll be the one to figure it out. Right? We can't figure it out because he's not going to try what we want to try anyways. So. But yeah, I can't wait to see what Blessing can do for us, and if he's going to help and get us a little more attack and get some good passing in there, because we're missing it from Ache right now. Coco's the only one who's making those attempts. So yeah, man, let's see what we got with Blessing. Bring him in.
And I feel like he's also like a good option off the bench because it's definitely better than having Brad Smith coming off the bench to play as a winger. Not ideal, but but yeah, it's good. And you mentioned Coco. That goal was all Coco, and obviously you kind of forced the ball to like force the ball away from the Portland keeper, but literally that goal was literally that cross from Coco. Like it was just insane. Like he just uses the side of his foot to just send Aliyu into the box, and he just like it was so clean. Like that goal is all Coco. Like it's great to Aliyu. Another goal for Aliyu, which is great, but that goal was all Coco, honestly.
Yeah, and Aliyu was raising his hand asking for it, and Coco saw him. So, let's see the teamwork right there. And Coco put that ball there, and it just happened to be where the defender and the keeper came out at the same time, same spot. Defender gets his leg up and gets the ball right before the keeper does. So that's when then they hit each other, and here comes Aliyu to absorb the brunt of it, look at them both, and been just like, hey, there's the ball. Cool. Go, and then he says, "Come over here. Let's go sit on the bench or on the fence or whatever, and have a team hug on the bench on the fence. Sorry, I don't know. I keep saying the bench. He's on the fence because they took a seat is what they did. So, hey man, I don't care. He earned the goal. He was in this position. He asked for the ball. The ball was played. He made the run he was supposed to. He didn't back off. The defender played it because he thought he had to. Boom, and he was there, opportunity, and that's what we ask for Liu sometimes is the opportunity to have a goal. He took a couple shots. He nailed the friggin' post. So he's doing his job. He's doing it. He's doing it from the wing, where the fans have quieted down and stopped complaining about him as much. But that's what's funny, I guess. But he earned it. He fought for it. Coco with the pass, though. You're right. Coco with a good game. And I told y'all the braids wouldn't last long.
Yeah. I guess it is going to be like a phase, like a short phase. But
it always is.
Yeah. And I guess I can get with like my positive and negative of this game. Just with the positive being that first MLS clean sheet for the Dynamo. Great. And also just really setting at bay Portland, and like I said previously, Portland winning 2 games and Jordan won to stay undefeated up until this point. And negative, obviously, just the fact that whenever like a team is crashing in or like putting a lot of support over there, Houston usually struggle when it comes to defending, and especially in the first half, it mostly happened in the second half. But just starting with the first half, a lot of people criticize Steve Clark, and he saved our butts again this game. Like he made some pretty insane saves to keep the score at 0, but really like he just got kicked out to like 2-hour drive in the second half because the team it was like, okay, I hope it doesn't happen, but it started to look like it. We don't need another goal. Come on, guys, please hold on. And it happened, but at the same time, like it was bound to happen. Like it was just the type of game. I was kind of like, guys, please, no, not like this.
Yeah, bro. And Mikel is getting more Hadebe like and more Hadebe like, not in the dangerous sense, but the acrobatic and athletic type sense, where he's starting to do these karate kicks and these using those long legs to get into certain places, and I'm loving it. So I think Mikel is starting to evolve to his next level and just becoming a dominant center back. So yeah, I'll be ready. He's going to be there for a long time, and our Danish Eric will be back soon, or whatever he is. Will be back soon, and probably maybe Colorado. I don't know. He wasn't I don't think he was on the bench this game. So we'll see if he's ready to go in Colorado or not. But he's Bartlow's doing okay right there, so can't complain. Make sure he's not hurt, and he's healthy whenever he comes back 100%. But man, you like you said that up top position. It's just it was just difficult watching trying to scrounge for a freaking shot on goal. Bro, it was just crazy, and we got outshot. We outpossessed Portland, but they outshot us. And it's
Yep.
crazy. And I think even announcers said it, how much we possess, but can't still get a freaking good shot off. And I'm like, yeah, duh. It's got to be annoying you too, right?
It was, and yeah, 17 shots against 9, and it was miserable, especially just seeing Portland getting all those opportunities. Given that only 4 of those went on target, but still, it's one of the things that
Yeah.
that, that Pat Olmstead and Astrid also have to sort out right away, because Latif Blessing is good to have, but he's not gonna solve our problems right now. We're gonna need a 9, and everyone's asking for a 9, and come on, yo, please,
Can
we
can
need
Blessing
this.
can Blessing play the false nine? Might be better than
I mean, if Basi played it,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I mean, it might be better than Bossy playing the false nine right there, just because size is a big
Yeah.
difference, you know. It was funny was going back to when we were playing Columbus and Derek Jones and Bossy were the two guys that were always on each other, and it was just laughable the size difference, and at even one point, you know, Bossy actually succeeded in taking Derek Jones down. I was like, whoa, look at this, but he was trying. He was trying,
Yeah.
but I'm just laughing. Like if I'm Derek Jones, I'm like, just what the hell did you mosquito right here, a French mosquito,
Mosquito.
or a Moroccan mosquito. But yeah, but I'm happy. At least we got the win, like you said. It's 3 points, so now we've got 4 points. We're one less game than Frisco and Dallas. I mean Frisco and Austin. So and they both just got 3 points. So, hey, we're in 9th place too in the Western Conference playoffs. Now, granted, we're only 3 games in, so calm down, right? All right, yeah, but looking forward to it. We go to Colorado next. Colorado's got 5 points. I think they got 2 ties and a win and a loss. And they're coming off a win or no? I don't even remember what they're coming off of now. So it'll be interesting. They're coming off a tie against Seattle. Oh, that's the other thing I noticed, too.
On the road, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, bro. 6 red cards in the MLS yesterday.
Really?
In 6 different games. Yep.
That's
Crazy.
insane.
And then that stupid Chicago game-winning goal was just
I
ridiculous.
saw that.
Just
It was a cross, but the wind just blew the ball in, so the keeper can screw up, because the keeper got a hand of it, but the ball went so fast that it was too late for him.
And what was the keeper doing? The keeper was standing still, watching the ball come at him. He wasn't running backwards, getting ready to jump at the ball. He was standing in his position, standing still, and the ball was just kept blowing towards him, and then it just was in the net. And even the announcer's like, "What are you doing, dude? What was the keeper doing?" Because he was too far out, and then he didn't go backwards. Yep. Like, okay, you big dummy. But yeah, that was Chicago 4-3 in the Montreal game, and Montreal took a red card. DC took a red card, and a 1-3 loss to Miami. Suarez with 2 more goals. Seattle Sounders took a red card in a 1-1 draw with Colorado. Columbus 3-0 over the Red Bulls. Red Bulls took a red card. NYFC took a red card but won the game 2-1 against Toronto. Austin 2-2 against Philly at home. Dallas got butts kicked by Vancouver. Supposedly Fafa feet could eat this time. He had a goal and assist, it looks like. Minnesota beat LAFC. Yeah, man, you want to go back to that? Yeah, Fafa, slow feet can't eat, I guess, this game. Had a goal.
They now.
Had a goal and assist. So he's that's all the action he's due for the next 3 months. So Vancouver people, calm down. And those that are following him on his Instagram, yes, you're going to see some highlight reels this week, but then don't worry about it. It'll be over because he'll go back to being Fafa and just being, slow, I guess, doing nothing, one trick pony. Minnesota beat LA. Minnesota at home beat LAFC 2-0. So that's a huge one. Minnesota's showing that right now, early in the season, that they're going to be a formidable team, and they're sitting in first in the Western. So everybody take note on that. Nashville beat Charlotte 2-1. Sporting beat San Jose 2-1. San Jose's 0-4. LA Galaxy
Last in the West for now, yeah.
Yeah, like nothing. Lasting period. Like, because unless there's an 0-4 on the other side too, and then LA Galaxy and St. Louis, LA Galaxy with a red card and a 3-3 game right there. So I'm sure that one was nuts, But that was red cards, bro. Red cards. Today, New England lost to Cincinnati 2-1 in New England, and Atlanta beat Orlando 2-0. No red cards there. So crazy MLS with that. So watch the rewind so you can see all the red cards. Which one's your favorite? Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and I guess we can end the episode with a sad tune, because we have to talk about Dynamo 2 again. And I'm supposed to be happy because it's a home opener, and I was in a pretty positive tone about the Dash, even though they lost 5-1. But this loss, and I said it last time, like Dynamo 2 losses like hurt worse anytime, because the trend I keep seeing is that the last 10 minutes are the worst in Dynamo 2 history for like the past 3 years, and just talking about this team is just like painful.
Bro, you're not even freaking kidding. And the excitement we had going into this game with this team, because we have a lot of potential and we want to see all these new players playing and the new roster. And you're like, we kind of predicted the roster. We still didn't get quite 11 right. But it was like, man, looking forward to this. And then, game came. I was all right. It's all right. And then, fuck, here we go again. God dang it. No. Typical Dynados.
Not the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, dude. 2 goals in the last 10 minutes after leading 1-0. Horrible, bro. Horrible. Outplaying them the whole game again. Outpossessing, outshooting, out everything again. The entire time. Our SKC we're their nemesis. They can't beat us. Here they go. They finally jumped the hump and join into the contagiousness of defeating Dynados in the last 10 minutes of a game in Houston. Really, it doesn't matter where it's at nowadays, I guess. But yeah, that one was frustrating, dude. That one was frustrating. But Lionel did come out, and there was some excitement to see it. Exxon, Silla, Honor. You had Reed, Sebastian Rodriguez, Bolaños, Gonzalez, Abadusu, Sargent, and then Makamamuku, Yaya. However say that guy's name.
Oh yeah, Isaac. I'm Nwaku too.
Yeah. So I mean, they all played pretty well. They all played decent. Exxon had an excellent game, and it was kind of a standout for the people who were watching the game and those that went to the game. And he had an excellent game. He obviously got the one goal that we did score. Had a couple opportunities. He earned a penalty kick that Diego Gonzalez missed. Unfortunately. Keeper made the save. It's not like Diego missed. He just put it in the corner, but he placed it. I think he just targeted it. Keeper got it, and that was an opportunity to go up 2-0. Obviously, it did not happen. So that could have been huge. But Exxon with an excellent game and playing well on that side, and again the team looked well. They moved the ball well. They played well. Just fell apart there at the end and just blew up. And basically just gave up again. And it's crazy because this is a new roster, so it's new people that are just giving up. So they're like, and you still have a Chara actually got to come in and play.
Damn, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he's real.
He's playing.
Yeah, he exists. He didn't do anything special or anything, but he got out there and he played, and so it looks like that's good to see. So hopefully he could become somebody that's
pretty good.
Yeah, because he can transition to the first team real easy. He's not a youth player that you would have to wonder about that transition. He just, if he's good enough to play, you can make that transition and get him out there and play for the first team. So that's somebody to keep an eye on as those continue to play. So question mark is why is he not starting? Because I wouldn't start him anyways. He's got to come off the bench and do something. But if he's an important need, you might have to start him just so you can see him quicker and faster. So if he can be a help to the Dynamo, you can get him up there. But if Exxon keeps it up, shoot, just keep Exxon going, and Exxon might end up at Shell, and we'll have a big fight, and we'll force a fusion right there, like a Vegeta and a Goku. Exxon and Shell are gonna have to fuse, have a nice gasoline,
right?
It.
Right, and honestly, just bring all the force to the first team. Like at this point,
yeah,
just to try something new, and one of the things I also wanted to read, I did get a few comments from listeners on Twitter that I was going to go through, and this was from Juan 148485, also named H-Town on Twitter, and they mentioned Dash by the looks of it looked crap. Dynamo dominated the game but couldn't finish the chances, and Dynamo bottled the win, and Diego Penn missed cost them. So, kind of what we talked about.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of frustration.
Yeah. It just basically what it is. The Dynamo, we're into our season, so we know how that's going. Dash, it looks like it's going to be a long season based off the first impression. Dose, it looks like it's going to be one of those seasons as well as a struggling season. We'll make the playoffs on the last day again, and by our chinny chin chin, and we'll see how that goes. So until they can get their shit together, then that's it may be one of those seasons where you might want to think about getting your calling a makeup artist and getting the color ready for your hair, because you might be losing some of that color. Watching three teams every freaking weekend.
It's gonna be. We're back in the grind, but
yep.
And we also got a comment from Dynamo Faithful. Shout out to them.
Woo!
Good boys, good podcast. And they just mentioned that Dynamo certainly have made a strong showing considering our roster state. Hot take, it's not as bad as everyone else wants to think, and that's something that we've already addressed a couple times, particularly the issue with the injuries and how they're going. And if you look at the big picture, they're pretty much out. They're kind of outperforming expectations because they're missing their best players, some of their best players, and the fact that they're scoring goals, it's impressive. And
don't say goals. It's 3 games.
Goal.
3 games, 3 goals. So
goal parentheses S.
Goal
Goals.
a game. Goal a game right now.
Goal a game. Like, it's still impressive, but at the same time, it's still a lot. They got a lot of work to do and some reinforcements to bring into the team, and that's also they're running Blessing, like we just mentioned, but we'll have to see him play, and also bring in that support, that additional support before the window closes, the first one.
Yeah. We'll just have to be patient on all 3 teams this season. Dynamo with the roster implications, we'll get something in there eventually, whether it be this window or next. Sebas is returning. How long ago? How far along is Ache from returning? Obviously, Quinones is not returning this season. So, we just got a bunch of questions right now that have to be answered, and it's just hard trying to find those answers, especially whenever you can only do 90 minutes once a week. And you're not having weekday games anymore, so it's time to figure out those answers, and you're doing it the hard way in MLS season, where a loss is a loss, and you don't get that game back. So you need those points. As you see, some teams are fighting on the last day, and we're one of those teams that could be fighting in that position. So we need to go in, play every game, and try to get as much out of it as we can. And I think that's what's Ben is doing, and it's just a struggle because you don't have everything at your helm to get going. And a lot of fans will say, well, that's Pat not bringing nobody in. So, but I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. Pat will bring somebody in and do what he needs to do, whatever. And I trust whatever he's been telling us. And it's been difficult trying to find somebody, but I'm gonna be patient and wait, and I'm not pulling the trigger yet. At least get us to the halfway mark to when Leagues Cup starts, and then we can judge where our season is out there and kind of gauge where we're going to go from there. We'll have Ache back by then too. So, yeah, I think that's when I'll judge right now. Right now, I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. As we mentioned, guys, go to the Dash home opener this weekend. That's gonna be your homework. Dynamo and Dynamo 2 are gonna be on the road, so we're gonna have to watching them from home. And yo, one more time, go to the game. Get your ticket right now, and go to the Dash game. Challenger Stadium, 7:30 this Saturday. So be there. We'll be there.
And another update on Dose. The Dose is not charging for tickets anymore, but they do say they're charging for parking. They weren't today. I don't know if it was just because it was the first game or if that's just the way it's going to be. It doesn't make sense to give away free tickets to a game, but they're going to charge you $15 to park there. Doesn't make sense to me. Yep. So I think that might have just been a clerical error, and there's probably not going to be no charge for parking. You know, they do have concessions there, so they can make money off of that, and everybody does like to buy a popcorn and a soda or a hot dog and a soda, and so it's okay. And I think it's a high school that runs concessions, so the money goes back to one of the local high schools over there. So whatever. So man, you go check it out. And just another side note, Next Pro, while we're finishing up right there, the defending champions, Austin FC2, they played the first game of the MLS Next Pro season, gave up the first goal of the season, and also lost. So there's a little side note right there just to keep everybody happy as we end this show. You know, they lost. They gave up the first goal of the season for Next Pro. Boom. They lost to Tacoma though, so Tacoma's one of our tough opponents.
I hate Tacoma. I'm tired of Tacoma. I don't want to hear about Tacoma again. But yeah, let's close this one out now.
Yeah. Get it out of here. Take us out,
guys. Yeah. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and stay noodle, y'all.
H is up.